right, welcome to the Snowflake Sports Podcast. It is 8:13 Eastern Standard Time. I am your host, Dan, and we are joined by the Go Pack Go correspondent and I guess the believer in Sexland now for the Cleveland Cavs. It's Fritz. How you doing, Fritz?
How's it going, Dan? Dan, to be clear, I am a Cavaliers fan. I started watching sports when I was in third grade. I have some family from Cleveland, and the only reason I'm not a Browns fan was because the one and only year that I played football was also in third grade for a team called the Fairport Packers. So, there's my fan history.
I didn't know the Packers part until now. I knew you were always a Cavs fan because you have family out there, and
yeah, it's rough.
Yeah. But it was a highlight last night, and we'll talk about that later. But just to go what we're going to talk about today, we're going to brief recap of the Packers, Rams, Bills, Ravens divisional round matchups, because those are our fandoms, and we want to talk about that. And then we're going to preview the AFC, NFC Championship games, talk about Harden getting traded to the Nets, and then the Biden inauguration that happened yesterday. All right, so let's get it started. Packers, Rams, Aaron Rodgers did a very good job this game, just absolutely diced up that number one defense that everyone talked up. But I'll let you lead with what your thoughts were on this game.
Yeah, I got a bunch of thoughts. First of all, the number one thing that I would like to address. Do you remember when Brett Favre left the Packers and then changed his mind but couldn't go back, and then 2 years later became a Viking in spite of the Packers? And Packer Nation saw that as a betrayal of, his entire career, basically, and he kind of had to work his way back into like the good graces of Packers fans, especially because Aaron Rodgers was doing so well. Do you like?
I vaguely remember that. I don't really know the story of Brett Favre getting out of grace. It makes sense because he was a Viking, but he
was flip flopping it because of his age, and he basically retired. And then they were like, okay, it's Aaron's turn. And then he changed his mind. And they were like, no, we've already told Aaron that he's going to play. And then he went to the Jets for a year, was all right. And then he went to the Vikings and was actually really good. But because he went to the Vikings because he wanted to play the Packers because he was bitter. And after that, a lot of Packers fans again, saw that as you're betraying us because you're a bitter old man. And it kind of took him a while until he, was back in, the good graces of Packers fans. A lot of Packers fans didn't care, but, a lot were I don't know how I fucking feel about Brett Favre. He's kind of a traitor. And then eventually he was forgiven. He, had this return to Lambeau Field and everything. And so that's Greg Jennings now. Because I'm fucking so sick of Greg Jennings taking every possible opportunity to pick against the Packers because Aaron Rodgers made a joke that offended him fucking 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard this story, but basically they were playing some team like the 49ers, and I think he was trying to just poke fun at Greg or try to get him to play better in the game or something. And he said something to one of the guys on the other team was hey, Greg's a free agent next this offseason if you guys want to pick him up. And Greg has never forgotten that. He has just been shit talking the Packers on and off. But besides him, fucking everybody was picking the Rams. I know, I was losing my mind last week. I could not believe how many people were hyping up the Rams and saying that the Rams were going to win. Okay, let's review. Devontae Adams versus Jalen Ramsey. Okay, Jalen Ramsey wasn't even the best cornerback in that game yesterday. By this season's rating for Pro Football Focus, he wasn't the best cornerback in the league this year. It was Jair Alexander. And fucking nobody talks about him. Because he's in Green Bay. Unless you're Aaron Rodgers or Devontae Adams, and sometimes Aaron Jones, those are the only people that you're going to talk about. But there's that. So a lot of people were like, okay, there's the one-on-one matchup between those two guys. All right, fucking fine. He's done well against a lot of physical receivers. The one guy who burned him was Stephon Diggs this year, and Stephon Diggs is the one receiver out of that whole group that Devontae Adams is just like. He's a quick, fast route runner, not a big physical guy like DK Metcalf or Julio Jones. So there's that. Everybody was talking about how Aaron Donald is going to just obliterate the Packers line with a like torn rib cartilage? Are you kidding? Like, I get it's Aaron Donald, but the Packers also have, I mean, by Pro Football Focus rating, the second best offensive line in the league. In my personal opinion, they got two guys on that line that are all-pros, and another guy who I think should be an all-pro. I don't know if you watched Elton Jenkins go one-on-one with Aaron Donald and body him all game long, but he's been in the league for 2 years and hasn't let up a single sack. He is a monster. And this season, he played significant snaps at every single position on the line. Who the fuck has ever done that?
Yeah.
Ever. He's an animal. But the thing that was bothering me more than anything was, well, two things. One, everybody's talking about the matchup between Jalen Ramsey and Devontae Adams. Fucking Cooper Kupp didn't play. So who's going to win between Robert Woods and Jair Alexander, the better cornerback? You have a guy who's like a B-list complimentary number 2 receiver. And not like B-list as in like B-list receiver in the league, like a B-list number 2 receiver. Robert Woods is good. That's it. He will never be a Pro Bowler, an All-Pro player. Like, he is just a complimentary receiver.
Yeah, I stand. I stand with that.
Fucking like Josh Reynolds? What? Both of those guys didn't do shit the whole game. And Jared Goff, who had a broken thumb that had worked on surgically earlier, like a week and a half before, is playing with small hands. I don't know if anybody knows this, but Jared Goff, for a quarterback, does have very undersized hands.
Oh, okay.
In Lambeau in cold weather, the number one thing you need big hands for. When the weather's cold, that's like the number one thing that they're concerned about. When you have small hands, it's like, oh, when the weather's cold, you're not going to be able to catch things or throw things. Like, that's it.
All right.
So,
first off, can I respond to that? Because
sure.
it wasn't that cold in Green Bay. It was 36 degrees. Like, it was fine.
You know what? That was fair. Okay. What I'm saying though is, I was pissed off that people were picking the Rams.
Oh yeah.
So the assumption was that it was going to be colder. You are right. It was way warmer than anybody else was expecting it to be. But like, you could still see people's breath. It wasn't warm.
Yeah,
but it was warm for Lambeau.
It was like balmy, you know.
Yeah.
So.
But oh my god, dude, it was driving me insane. And then their fucking backup just broke his neck, and they lost to the Jets. Like, there's no there was no reason for them to win that game. And I was saying all week that like they are mismatched in every single category. I don't give a single fuck if this is the number 1 rated defense in the league, because like the Packers have been obliterating people on offense this year. Their offense is unreal this year. Like better than their offense is better than the fucking 2011 Aaron Rodgers, which is ridiculous. I don't know how many records him and Devontae Adams have broken this year, but it's a shit ton.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. And I wasn't surprised. Everybody was like, oh, wow, yeah, the Green Bay Packers are like, fuck no, yeah. They were amazing. They've been great this whole year. They had the one anomaly game against fucking like the Bucks, which Alan Lazard didn't play. Fucking Devontae Adams, it was his first game back coming off of an injury. And I don't know, what was it, Jamel Dean, like, guessed on a pick and got it right.
Yeah, that was him.
Threw the entire game out of whack. By the way, I don't know if you know this. I think it's either 5 or 10, but Tom Brady only threw for 5 or 10 more yards than Aaron did in that game.
Oh, that like game they won? Yeah.
Yeah, that game was just all defense.
Well, it was running too, I'm pretty sure. I forget the stats.
Yeah, it was. But I think it was Ronald Jones's second highest. But guess what? The run D is fine now. We stopped Derrick Henry. We held him to 70 or 77 yards or something like that. If we can hold Derrick Henry, we can hold literally anybody else in the league. Maybe not I don't know. McCaffrey might fuck us up. Kamara could fuck us up. But we also beat the Saints earlier this year. So I'm not, dude. It fucked. I was losing my mind all week. And when it happened, when they won, I was like, yeah, let's get to the NFC Championship, because that's, I'm honestly not too concerned about the Bucs, but I was 0% concerned about the Rams at all.
Yeah,
I'm just glad it's over.
We'll get into the Bucs later, but I just want to say too that last week I pretty much said that the Rams number one defense is going to be very interested seeing Jalen Ramsey across Devontae Adams, and I compared how he shut down DK Metcalf basically 3 times this year, and that he could do that with Devontae Adams. And granted, they're different body structures, and I just felt LaFleur and Hackett just really had a good game plan. There was that one touchdown where Adams was
the double motion,
both forward, and then Jalen Ramsey totally missed him, and he kind of threw a tantrum. And I just thought they were smart in opening him up.
Did you hear about what Devontae did before the game?
Oh, no.
He went over to the Rams sideline to talk to Jalen and said something along the lines of "Hey, cover me the whole game. Let's give the fans what they want to see."
Oh, that's fine. That's good. I like that.
That's cold as shit, dude. I fucking love that.
Oh yeah, but Jalen Ramsey, he's a very conceited person. He totally would take that and wanna own him. Which is probably why he was so mad at that touchdown. And then just the other thing in this game, which you said how the Pack offense is just on another level. And you said on the podcast a while back that Aaron Rodgers has more touchdowns than punts.
Yep.
And they did not punt this game until.
That's still
a fact. Yeah, they did not punt this game until 7 minutes into the third quarter, which is just absurd. If you're supposedly the number one defense, and they just don't punt into the middle of the third, and there's Aaron Rodgers is smirking when he's calling a play or something under center. And then one last thing is, so I listened to a lot of Athletic Show with Robert Mays and Nate Tice. It's really good, X's and O's. I highly recommend it. And they brought up this play where it's it's 2nd and 17, Rodgers is in his own end zone. And they bring these 2 stunts, the Rams do, and the offensive line did great without Bakhtiari, right? He was not in this game. It's just absurd that he does. So they do pretty well with the stunts, but it's hard to stop them. Rodgers does a little footwork, and he throws a dime to Lazard. And it's just when that has to be so detrimental to your psyche if you're on the Rams defense, if you cannot stop that. You schematically create such a good opportunity to sack Rodgers or to, I don't know, get a punt, but then it's a first down and it's all right, this game is pretty much over.
I'm gonna tell you right now, when I was watching that play, I was almost in shock when the ball came out, because I was like, oh fuck, this is gonna be a sack.
Yeah.
And then he just the ball just shoots out of a line of defenders, goes straight to Allen, or it was either Allen, I think it was Allen Lazard.
Yeah, it was Lazard, yeah.
And I was just like, where the hell did that come from? He's insane, man.
Yeah, he's
the scary thing right now for the rest of the league. I've been a very, very avid Packers fan for a while.
Oh, you don't say.
Yeah. Well, you know that, Dan. I don't know how many other people might know that.
That's true. Good
but
point.
I don't think I've ever seen Aaron this confident.
Oh.
And that should scare the shit out of everybody else. Especially in his post-game interviews and his interviews that he does on Pat McAfee and stuff, which I don't know if you've watched them, are incredible.
Oh, no, I should though. That sounds like a great. use of time.
I always thought that
he's crazy.
He was kind of like dry and shit, but like no, Aaron Rodgers is like a bro. He's he's fucking hysterical.
Yeah.
Also, one last fact. When Jalen Ramsey was targeted in that game, I'm pretty sure the passer rating that he let up was somewhere along the lines of like 132. You can check me on that if you want, but when Jair Alexander was targeted, the passes went 1 for 3, and the one completion was for -3 yards.
Oh, nice. You said Jalen Ramsey had the 132?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have Pro Football Focus, so I don't think I can look up that specific stat. But yeah, great win by the Packers. Rams, they lose Brandon Staley. That's going to be a huge detrimental to their defense. We'll see what they do from there. Right, Bills-Ravens game. Let's go. Hey,
hell yeah.
Hey. It was unreal. I don't know. It's so weird for them to be in this position, and the fact that they beat the Ravens. And it was similar kind of to the Packers-Rams thing, where it's like, like Lamar Jackson could run the ball very well. The Bills' run defense isn't that great. Blah blah blah. Like I was a little concerned about it, and I thought this game was close, and it was close, right? Like if you take out that Terrion Johnson 100-yard like pick six, like that's a one-score game.
Yeah, that was sick.
Yeah, it was amazing. But like Ravens defense though, kudos to them, especially their corners like Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Peters did a very good job on the Bills trio of wide receivers. Now, granted, Diggs still got 100 yards and a TD, but like they were still able to keep this game within.
Diggs was pretty quiet for like the first half of the game.
Yeah. He does that though, and then he'll come out in the third quarter and get like 50 yards or something.
I don't think he gets enough recognition when people he never gets put in like the top 5 receivers in the league conversation. And I think he needs to start getting put in that conversation.
Well, I have to fact check this, but I'm pretty sure he's a first team All Pro.
Well, this year he is, yeah.
Yeah.
I just like whenever people not besides the All Pros, like whenever people actually discuss who are the best receivers in the league or something. Who do you think? Who is your top 5? Like, not a lot of people put him in, or I've never heard anybody say Stephon Diggs' name for their.
Yeah,
I disagree. I think he's fucking insane.
Yeah, I mean, until this year, I put him second tier, but the top of that second tier. So Jones, Hopkins.
Yeah.
I'm blanking on other good wide receivers. But basically, yeah. So basically after that, he's ahead. To me, he's ahead of Tyreek Hill, and whatnot. But really, that Ravens defense was really showing off that game. Also, it was a windy game, even for Buffalo. The way the punts were, it was weirdly inverted.
Bro, Justin Tucker missed 2 kicks in
a row. My God, double doink, baby.
I'm pretty sure I said something to I was watching the game with two Bills fans, I think. No, one Bills fan, and they said something. We were talking about something, and he was having a conversation with my friend who's a Bucs fan, and I don't remember what the context was, but I said something I would not bet on Justin Tucker missing another kick, and I laughed it off, and then he fucking did it.
Yeah.
Crazy. My mouth was just fucking dropped to the floor.
Yeah. I thought it was hilarious too. Also, I love when Justin Tucker misses because his eyes just get so percolated.
He's in shock too.
Yeah. It's just wow, I missed that. And yeah, I don't know. So
that'd be if you would try to write your name with your dominant hand and you just couldn't.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, and then flip side, Bills defense did an absolutely great job containing Lamar Jackson, and that Ravens run game that everyone talked about that they were just going to run on, and I also was scared about it, and they did great. Matt Milano was just chasing people all over the field. They're also tremendous. And their defensive they blitzed a ton this game too, which is not normal for the Bills. They kind of play base, cover 2 coverage, but just. I don't know. It's a great win. Look, let's go Western New York. Let's bring it home, baby. But
Dude, I would absolutely love a Packers-Bills Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It'd make me very happy.
Yeah, one for the ages.
Also, quick thing, seeing the Ravens take out the Titans, all I could think about was the off-season move of letting Earl Thomas go and adding in Calais Campbell, and that one move where he stiff-armed Earl into basically his own blocker.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, let's get rid of that guy, and then let's bring in the biggest person in the league.
Let's see how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to shout out my buddy Out of Bounds podcast, Joe McDonald. He called that, like, when Earl Thomas was cut, that, like, he would not get signed. Like, the day after he got cut. And everyone was like, no, that's not going to happen, like, blah, blah, blah. And that just, he didn't get signed. It's wild to me. But whenever anyone brings up Earl Thomas, I just think of that.
I always think of the shit that he got caught doing.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Oh, my God. With his brother, man. That's weird.
Yeah.
That's weird, dude.
Yeah, that's super fucking weird. All right, moving on to the NFC Championship game. So, also, previewing both championship games, this is both rematches from Week 6. So, Bucks, if you don't remember, Bucks kind of killed the Packers. It's kind of an off day for the Packers. Bucks defense was looking just amazing. They were throwing pretty much everything at Rodgers. AFC-wise, the Monday Night Football game, Chiefs-Bills, Chiefs just, like, ran down the gut of the Bills' interior defense. And we'll get into that later. But first, we'll talk about the NFC Championship game. And my boy Fritz, what do you got for the preview for this?
You gotta ask. I think the Packers are gonna win. I've like I said, I've never seen Aaron Rodgers this confident, and it's scary. That game against the Bucks was an anomaly. Somebody asked him about it too, and he was like, "I think that game means as much as the two games where the Saints blew out the Bucks. Like, what just happened, you know?" Yeah. And I'm not taking too much into the fact that they just beat the Saints after finding out. You heard about Drew Brees, right?
You mean retiring or just all the...
Oh, no. So earlier today, his wife came out with a statement and let everybody know that he had been hiding the fact that
but keep going.
He had a torn rotator cuff, a torn fascia in his foot, and the punctured lung and the broken ribs. So Drew Brees was... I think a gimp is a little harsh, but Drew Brees was not Drew Brees. And then, I mean, fucking congratulations for beating, honestly, Taylor Heineke, like, bro, you balled your ass off.
Yeah.
But he, should have, like, I don't.
Also, let me backtrack. I want to shout out Tyler Huntley too, coming in for Lamar Jackson for the Ravens, and just played pretty well. He missed like a go route to Marquise Brown that like would have gone for a touchdown, but like after that he played pretty stellar. But
yeah, man. I mean, the guy almost looked like without the face, like helmet on, and this is gonna sound racist because he's black, but like same fucking body type too, like not built, just kind of like small and slender and quick. And I was like, did they just disguise Lamar? Like what's?
Did they just put him back in? Yeah.
What's going on? Had like the fucking tattoos on the arm and shit.
Yeah.
But no, I'm very excited that they get this rematch, because I feel like if Aaron Rodgers is in a great situation right now where he could beat, not only he could take the torch from Tom Brady, beating him in the NFC Championship, he could also then, if the Chiefs make it, kind of undermine, I guess, Patrick Mahomes a little bit. Where to Tom Brady, he's like, okay, old man, it's my fucking turn. And, hey, young guy, slow down a bit. This is still my league.
Yeah. For sure.
It'd be a good way to, put a bow on it at the end of the season. Also, I don't know if you know this, but Ted Thompson died today. So.
Oh no, I did not know that.
Yeah, it's gonna be another little bit of a motivation factor for them.
Yeah.
Or at least I'm sure it will be. But yeah, I don't know, man. I another thing I always feel like, and this is something that I've experienced in watching sports and playing sports, is that I always feel like the loser has an advantage in the rematch. And I don't think that that's a controversial statement. Because if you're the winner, you come back and you're like, yeah, and I guess I'm just going to beat the shit out of you again. Like, I didn't really learn anything. We're just going to run this back. But if you're the loser, you have like, okay, I did this wrong. This is what I learned from this game. Like, this is what we need to improve on. You have so much that you gained from that you can plan for, especially in a game like football where it's just, it really is all like game plan and coaching and scheme and chemistry and all that shit.
Yeah. At least the big thing with this game is obviously just like the Brady versus Rodgers kind of thing. And like Rodgers has to have this game if he'd be considered being better than Brady. And we can argue about this all day, and we have before. But I just think it's more important just to look at the defensive side of this game. Again, so like, okay, I know we talked about how the Rams were the number one weighted defensive DVOA. The Bucs currently ranked 6th. And I just the thing was like that Week 6 game, like Todd Bowles gave them everything. They were like blitzing.
They blitzed on 50% of their plays.
Yeah, exactly. So like I felt like they brought everything you could possibly think of to that game. So like Aaron Rodgers is gonna see that and be like, okay, they did this, they did that. Like let's like game plan for this. Like I don't think a week is a long enough time for the Bucs to be like, oh, what else different can we do? And you can't really sit back and just let Rodgers like slice and dice you because he's just gonna do that. So you do have to plan those blitzes, and if you already sent everything, then like that this game's over. Like I think the Bucs will do better than the Rams defense just because they like first off they're healthy and second of all their defense is like way more it's not like concentrated in Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. Like their whole defense is
I actually
studied, but
I'm gonna be honest, I like their defense better.
Yeah.
I love the Bucs front seven, and I've honestly been saying it for the past like 4 or 5 years. I think the Bucs are super, super, like I think they've been underrated for a while. They've really just been missing a competent quarterback. Like Cameron Brate is just a dependable tight end. You got Mike Evans, who is one of the best receivers in the league, and then with the addition of Chris Godwin last year, their front seven is JPP, Shaq Barrett, Ndamukong Suh, Vita Vea is actually just got pulled off of IR, could play in the game, I think. And then Levante David and Devin White, who looks like the reincarnation of Patrick Willis.
Yeah.
Like, that's scary, man. And then I think it was last year, PFF had Carlton Davis rated as like their quarter. It was like ratings for when cornerbacks were targeted. I think he had it was like an under average, lower than average amount of targets, but he had like the highest rating of like the lowest passer rating when targeted. So Carlton Davis isn't a scrub. I think he's also a pretty underrated player in the league.
Yeah. I mean, this defense just kind of reminds me of a healthy 49ers defense, where that front seven is just absolutely scary. And like the corners, I didn't know that Carlton Davis was that good compared to in PFF, but like they're just like it's like Richard Sherman is like competent as a corner now. So it's just like kind of that working. But anyways, I still think the Packers are going to win. I think that offense is like people keep talking about the Bills' offense is a bust out. I think the Packers' offense is more so.
By the way, what did I say last year about the Packers' offense?
That give it time and it will work itself.
I said give it a year.
Yeah.
I said that they're going to be good this year. They're going to be fucking amazing next year.
Oh, look at that.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
That's what happens every fucking time. You get a new offensive-minded coach. If he's a good coach, which I don't know. Let's see. Who else came from the Mike Shanahan trio? It was Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay. Those guys have some pretty sick offenses. Like, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
All of those. By the way, all of those guys were on Washington's team at one point.
Oh, it's so weird. Yeah.
And they didn't do anything, and Washington just let them go. Like,
yeah.
They must have just sucked. Like,
yeah. Oh, for sure. All right, you got a score for this game? You think it's close? Think it's blowout? Or...
No, I think I want to say it's going to be more than 10, honestly. Like, not to mention, like, it's supposed to be like 19 degrees.
Okay.
And keep in mind, I know Leonard Fournette's kind of been heating up a little bit, but I think Ronald Jones is still slightly hampered by an injury. A.J. Dillon, a.k.a. the Quadfather, a.k.a. Quadzilla, is very fresh, and I am so excited for the Packers to use him. He is an absolute unit.
Well, they really do that run committee kind of thing now.
Yeah.
But they broke out the past couple of games or so.
Yeah, I don't know how much you watched like the entirety of the Rams Packers games, but like Jamal Williams, man, if you need like two, like he's not gonna like break out for like a Aaron Jones 60-something yard touchdown, but like if you need 2 or 3 yards, he gets it almost every single time.
Oh yeah. Well, it's just the perfect dynamic between those two too. If you take out A.J. Dillon, it's the perfect like big-bodied back Jamal Williams just getting you those 2 or 3 yards, and then Aaron Jones doing his like thing, just getting outside the tackles and everything. All right, yeah, I
just enjoying it while it lasts, man. Yeah. I know they can't sign both of them.
Yeah. I think the score is similar. I think it's like 38-24 or something around there, where it's like more than 10 points. I think I think Tom Brady will do fine in the cold. He like playing in New England forever. And I think that's really the biggest concern when you're playing.
Oh, not to mention Antonio Brown's like he's day to day right now. He might not even play. He's got a knee injury. They had he had an MRI and then had to get a second opinion. But it looks like there was no major structural damage, but whether or not he's going to play is day to day at this point.
Gotcha.
And I'm not sure if Chris Godwin's finger is still bothering him. If I had to guess, I'd say it wasn't. I don't remember how long ago he got his hand surgery, but like, I don't know, man. Having pins in your hand in the cold could fuck you up.
Could be a little hard. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ask Jared Goff.
Yeah. Tiny hands Goff. All right. AFC Championship game. So also rematch of Week 6. And I said before that the Chiefs basically just ran down the throat of the Bills, and part of that was because rotational interior defensive linemen Harrison Phillips and Trent Murphy were out of this game, as well as Matt Milano. So they were depending on AJ Klein. I forget who, like Dodson, I think is their backup middle linebacker, and then they moved like Tremaine Edmonds, or they moved Doxson like outside when they play like a 4-3. But like, okay, though all three of those players, Milano, Phillips, and Murphy, are healthy. So now the Chiefs can't just like run down the throat of the Bills defense. But now the Chiefs could really do anything. And now it comes down to like schematically, what are you going to do? Are you going to do you have to do that nickel coverage where you have the 3 corners? And when you do that, right, Trey White, your best corner, do you want to put him on Tyreek Hill even though he's not as quick as like Terrion Johnson, I think could actually do a pretty good job on Tyreek Hill. And then if you move Trey White, you put him on like a Travis Kelce or something, and then you stick Levi Wallace on, Hardman, Watkins, whoever's there. And then obviously you have to do over-the-top coverage with Tyreek Hill. I mean, just ask Carlton Davis that one game where Tyreek Hill got like 100-something yards or 200 yards in a quarter. I don't even remember. And I think that's like the most important thing in this game is matching up the corners. How do they do that? Like, you could throw Josh Norman in there maybe to like rough up Kelsey. But I don't know. I want to say, because the Bills are playing so good right now, and like I saw a stat on Twitter where like the Bills point differential is like 130 something over the last 6 games or whatever, and the Chiefs is like 33. And I really want to be like, yeah, this is it. Like, this team's rolling. This team's looking great. I think the Chiefs are like a little too good.
Dude, the Chiefs have been kind of like last week. Their game against the Browns was not how they've been. First off, they had a lot of lucky plays that really, like the dumbest rule in football with the fucking touchback, dude.
Yeah.
There's 2 rules that need to be changed. I think that rule needs to be like you get the ball back at like the 5 or the 10 or something like that. Or fuck it, even at the 20. Like if they wanted to do like first and goal at the 20, that would still be better.
Yeah.
But that, and I think holding needs to be 5 yards. Like, it's such a killer, dude. You do something that literally everybody fucking does on every single play, and you have one that's like kind of exaggerating, sometimes not even, and you have to go twice the yardage that you normally do. It's just like,
yeah. So
it's insane.
On that though, I don't know how factual this is, but I heard somewhere that like they call less holding now than they do normally.
Yeah.
So I think that's a step in the right direction, even if they don't change that to 5 yards. But I think like the less you call it, the better, except for the obvious, armbar ones over someone's neck or something.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. So
also, quick thing that I forgot when we were talking about the Bills game last week. Bills Mafia, that was 100% a fumble. You guys got fucked.
Oh yeah. Wait, you mean the Colts game or the
Colts game? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I forgot that was 2 weeks ago. Holy shit.
Yeah, that was 2 weeks. Yeah. It's 2021, baby. Everything's slow.
It's still fucking unreal, man.
Yeah. All right. Flip side though, I think Chiefs defense though is pretty stellar. I don't like they gave fits to a very good Browns offense. I thought last week. Like Jones could really get out of the quarterback. Like Honey Badger could do whatever he wants basically. Like he's basically like Draymond Green or like Giannis. Just
dude, he's had such a resurgence.
Yeah, it's wild. And I think they gave Josh Allen, like he was double clutching some plays in week 6. Like he wasn't really a thing because they put the Ravens do this too though, and the Ravens did shut down Josh Allen to an extent. They put 7 in the box, like right, they rush 4, maybe they blitz all 7. Like it's confusing, and you can't do pre-snap stuff. But I don't know. I think this game will be closer. I just can't not give the Chiefs the edge, but like then again, right? Mahomes has had this concussion. Like, what's he doing with this protocol? Is he just is
he cleared to play?
Right. Like this is all. If he doesn't play, like the Bills win this game. It's not even close.
They also he's also got some turf toe too. Like I don't know how much that would hamper him. Stick a needle between my the webbings of my feet. But I don't know, man. There's a lot of things that could go wrong for the Chiefs. Like if they gotta play Chad Henne, and even if they don't play Chad Henne, like you think Andy Reid's gonna use a single RPO? I think he learned his lesson.
Yeah.
If he wants to save it for like the second half of the Super Bowl, maybe.
Yeah, the one time.
But like, I don't know, man. They could do some damage. Like I said, the Chiefs have the number 1 worst red zone defense in the league. So it's not impossible to score on them for sure. And they have won. I know it's Buffalo, and I know Josh Allen hasn't been like MVP Josh Allen in the playoffs so far, but I don't know. The Chiefs, they won a lot of close games against some not great teams. So You definitely have a puncher's chance, for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, the fact that they like played a semi-close game to the Dolphins and then they scored like 3 touchdowns in a matter of 5 minutes or something and blew that game out of the water. But
they're basically the Warriors of football.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. You can't say that anymore because it's so overblown, in my opinion. No offense. But
yeah.
And then the Bills, when they played the Dolphins, they absolutely smashed them. And it's not like the Dolphins. I think this was week 17. The Dolphins were like playing for a playoff spot. They weren't like rolling over.
They squished that fish.
That's... Yeah. The fish was squished. All of Bill's Mafia was smelling like straight fish. But yeah, I think like both these games I feel like will be close-ish. I think this game will be a lot closer. I think it's a one-score game, maybe like 4 points. I just give the edge to the Chiefs.
It's hard not to, just because it's the Chiefs.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have a team
a score
edge? Well, yeah, score. Or do you think the Chiefs win? Do you think the Bills? Because you've been pretty high on the Bills.
I have been pretty high on the Bills, but the thing that concerns me is, I feel like Josh Allen has not been playing like playoff Josh Allen. I mean, playoff Josh Allen has not been playing like regular season Josh Allen. That's the thing that concerns me. Then again, like Patrick Mahomes didn't play great in the Super Bowl last year, but otherwise has still been pretty great. I would have to pick the Chiefs if I were a betting man, but like I am 1,000% rooting for the Bills.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like I would love for like a Packers Bills Super Bowl, and even if the Packers lose, it's the fucking next team I'm going to be rooting for. Like
yeah. Oh, I guess it's against the Bucs. Are you kidding? Like,
not to mention, dude, this Tom Brady Aaron Rodgers championship game has been a long time coming.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you know, but like the Patriots were in the Super Bowl the last 2 times. Well, not last year, but the 2 times prior that the Packers lost in the NFC Championship. We missed out on 2 Aaron Rodgers Tom Brady Super Bowls because of the Falcons having an insane offense, and Brandon Bostic, who should never show his face anywhere near the state of Wisconsin ever again.
He's the one that fumbled, right?
No, he's the fucking asshole, idiot, dumb piece of shit that decided to be a hero on that onside kick against Seattle.
Right. Okay.
He should have been blocking the person who did actually catch the ball for the man behind him named Jordy Nelson.
Oh, who is that? Okay.
Yeah. I will never forgive that man.
Yeah.
Fucking ruined that game.
Yeah. All right, let's move on.
Anyway, no, I'm not still bitter. It's whatever.
Yeah, it's just fine. It's fine. Moving on to Harden getting traded to the Nets. I completely forget about the specifics because we're like a week into this already. And so it's like 4 first-round picks, like 3 pick swaps. You get rid of LeVert and Allen. Like Allen somehow ends up on the
he's on the Cavs, baby.
And then like LeVert gets like retraded to the Pacers, I think.
LeVert? I think, yeah.
I'm pretty sure he does.
But I think he's out for the season. I think he just got hurt.
Oh, again? Oh, goddamn. But then, okay, so now you got Harden and KD, and they were looking good. They were looking fine for those first couple games. They're scoring a ton, getting scored on a ton, obviously. And then Kyrie comes back last night and plays your. So I listen to a lot of low posts, and he keeps trying to bring that the Cavs should call themselves the Sexland because of Sexton and Garland. But I just want to embrace that and just like absolutely like I want Sexland shirts. I'm totally with you, Zach Lowe. Like let's get it out there for Cleveland.
Sexland.
But all right, so Harden going to the Nets. Yay, nay? What are your thoughts?
There's also got to be another way to incorporate Kevin Love's last name in there too.
Oh yeah, like Sex Loveland.
Yeah,
there it is. Yeah,
I like it. Yeah, man. I think we saw literally exactly what everybody said was going to happen last night. As much as I love my Cleveland Cavs, they have the, what is it, 30th out of 30? Yeah, there's 30 teams in the league, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
30. They had a 30th ranked offense in the league.
Oh, yeah.
And they hung 147 points on them. And you know why they beat them? Because they have 3 players. They have, besides like Joe Harris can get a bucket, and Joe Harris is essentially just like a Kyle Korver and JJ Redick. Like,
yeah, but could play defense though. Like,
yeah. But who else they got? I mean, they got Jeff Green, who is like,
he's okay.
He's good.
He's
all right.
Player. Yeah.
But he's not a center.
Oh no.
Which is what they need him to be.
Yeah.
Like, they can't play defense at all. And they're going to get exhausted. I don't know if you know this, Dan, but or anybody else, Kevin Durant just had Achilles surgery.
Oh,
and
no
he's
way.
playing like a career high minutes right now. That's not
yeah.
good. That's not good at all.
It also
Kyrie
doesn't
Irving,
help that he's their best defender, but keep going.
Yeah. And Kyrie gets injured every fucking year. It is a matter of time, which honestly might be better for them. But I would just like to say, like, there's a couple things, man. Can we, like, Kevin Durant is the softest bitch that has ever existed in pro sports. Like, the guy, we all know what he did with the Warriors, and then left to go do his own thing and try and prove that, like, he didn't need a super team, and then he just fucking makes another super team with the other best scorer in the league and then also Kyrie Irving. Like, fucking, like, come on. And honestly, the construction of the team is trash. That's the thing. Like, look at what the Lakers did, man. They only have 2 All-Stars. So, first off, anybody calling them a super is fuck off. Like, they have the best player in the world, and then they have one of the top, debatably 5 best players. But the rest of the team is primarily a bunch of guys. Like, they got, Montrezl Harrell, 6-man player of the year. Schroeder is 6-man candidate. Kuzma's like some upcoming talent. They got,
Gasol.
Yeah, but Gasol's old as fuck. But
right, but that passing aspect of the offense is amazing. Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like, they don't have super star power besides those 2 guys, but they are an extremely well built team because they all fucking fit together. Yeah. And the Nets don't have that. They have 3 open spots on their roster that they're just gonna have to fill with G League players. Like, fucking Dinwiddie's hurt too, right? Like, isn't he out for the season?
Pretty sure. I didn't see him last night when I watched the highlights.
I'm pretty sure he's out for the season right now.
Yeah.
And DeAndre Jordan, fucking the bane of my existence, Skip Bayless, keeps banging home that DeAndre Jordan was on the All-Pro defensive team like 4 years ago.
Oh my god.
Do you oh god.
Have you watched DeAndre Jordan? He's been a little better since after the Harden trade. I'll give him that. Yeah, but he's pretty stoic. Like, he can't really move.
He's a huge center, dude. They do not age well.
Yeah. Not at all.
He's not going to be anywhere near the kind of guy that you're going to need for that team. And then they also have a guy who has never coached before as their head coach. And it showed last night.
Yeah.
Like, Kyrie, go foul Colin Sexton so he can't get up a 3. Oh, Colin Sexton gets up a 3, banks it in, and then, boom, we're going into another overtime. Oh, we lost because we have to play another 5 minutes when the 3 of us have combined played for like 7 games together. Like, oh my God,
Yeah.
dude. It's so dumb. It's so stupid. And the thing is that they'll probably figure some shit out. They'll probably either end up in like the finals of the finals or like the Eastern finals. But like it's fucking hilarious, man. Like.
All right, so just to rebuttal though, with the
Sure,
Kevin Durant,
whatever
soft,
you got, bring it on.
coming that team together. First off, I love Kyrie. Everyone knows I love Kyrie.
I know you do.
Everything that he did, I thought was fine, except for that like party at that club or whatever. Because you could go to any single person at any workplace, like with at least 10 people. At least one of those people was affected by that insurrection, and he was affected, and I totally believe him in that aspect. Anyways, so this is all happening. Like, there's like rumors that he's gonna retire, he might not play and stuff. So it's like, okay, like what are we gonna do to keep like Durant happy? And we like bring in a guy that he's played with, bring in like another offensive scorer. So it's like if Kyrie gets hurt, if he retires or something, this is like good backup for that. And then also, I don't know if you remember the 2019 offseason for the Lakers when they were trying to get Kawhi Leonard, right? And they were
didn't want. By the way, I want to be clear. I did not want that to happen.
Right, I know you didn't want that to happen, but LeBron James was advocating for that. Like, they waited till the end of the...
I mean, do you blame him?
No, okay, but, like, you can't say... you can't, like, blame Kevin Durant for making a super team with Kyrie and Harden, and then, like, if LeBron is actively trying to do it with AD and Kawhi. Like, you can't have...
By the way, if they had gotten him, I would have been against that.
Yeah, but he's still trying to get that. So, like,
that.
Kevin Durant being better at this? Like, a little bit better than this? Or, I guess this is more like the GM, because the GM had to trade for this and gave, like, the entire bank to, like, the Rockets and, like, whoever got, you know, the Pacers and the Cavs, all this stuff.
I don't know if that necessarily makes him better. Maybe it could. I mean, God, I really hope I'm not sounding like I'm trying to like actively defend him, but the way that I see it, especially with their two personalities, for me, I could definitely see a situation where LeBron was like, we should get Kawhi. Like, we should push to get Kawhi because he's available. And if we got him, that would make our team incredible. They also didn't sign anybody. Like, their team was like 4 people at that point.
Yeah.
So they had all the cap space. That was the thing. Where Kevin Durant, I could 100% see him being like, fucking go get him, or else I'm not going to want to play. He just has that personality. Whereas
I guess. But he didn't say that at all, right? Like, he was still playing without Kyrie.
Oh, no. Not publicly. But I believe 1,000% that he was definitely involved in the signing of James Harden.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think he was advocating it. I don't think he was like an ultimatum, like, I will leave Brooklyn if you I'm not
gonna like die on that hill, but
yeah. But also, like, you made up. I don't think this team is that super teamy-ish. Like, they can't play defense. This team absolutely can't play defense.
That's the thing. I think they're trying to create a super team, but they did a very bad job of it because they're not. I mean, it's almost the same problem with the Warriors. The problem with the Warriors is that they just they worked together really well and they had the firepower, but in order to get Kevin Durant, they just obliterated their bench. And that's why the Warriors sucked after Kevin Durant left. I mean, also because, Clay was gone, and then, Steph got hurt too.
Yeah.
But they didn't have anybody after that because their bench was just Livingston, who was their bench guy, retired. And then JaVale was on the Lakers and.
Yeah. Come on, man. You're not an Amari Spellman fan? You're not balling out for Davey Lee? Yeah. I agree with that. I think the Warriors, though, this is a total tangent, like, balling out right now. They just beat the Lakers on MLK Day.
Sick.
That step back that Steph had over AD was, like, vintage Curry. And I don't know. I know that the Warriors are kind of sick and old. I just like seeing Steph
I mean,
ball on
the
them.
whole league does, man. As long as they're not an actual threat to winning the championship. Like, here's the thing. The Warriors are cool right now. The Warriors back in the day, honestly, the Warriors when it was just Clay, Steph, and Draymond, I was fine with them because they were like they were think of like the fucking hardest like video game you've ever played, where like it's like the last like the hardest video game boss that you've ever had to play, like where you could beat it. It was just like so fucking borderline, like not impossible, but like fuck, you gotta really pull something out of your ass, which is what happened. Whereas they added the second best player in the league to that team, it wasn't fair. Like the fact that the Chris Paul trade to the Lakers got vetoed, but that didn't, was some horseshit.
Well, first off, it's a signing. It's not a trade. You can't like block a signing.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah, it's just the whole thing of that. Like, it'll never happen in the NBA again because like the cap goes up like 20% or whatever it was, where it's like just enough money to sign a max player.
Yeah.
And like because they got rid of Barnes, so like all the money worked out. So like the money that'll never happen again money wise unless someone gets absolutely lucky. And then I just want to.
That was like a Tom Brady.
Yeah. I just want to, because since you're a Cavs fan, I just wanted to look this up while you said that, because they had the worst defense, but after that 140 point whatever scoring, they have the second worst defense now, above the Knicks. So they're at 102.9 points per game, and the Knicks are at 100.
Their offense was the worst in the league.
Right, but like points per game, right? Or is it just like some rating?
You said defense.
No, offense, sorry, yeah, points per game, offense. 102. Which is pretty bad. Abysmal. But their defense is really good, right? Are they like top 5, top 10, weirdly?
Yeah, they're not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, they got guys like Drummond and now Jarrett Allen. So
they can play like 5 centers now too.
Yeah. I mean, I like a lot of the guys on their team, and they're also like they don't have Kevin Porter Jr. right now because
right, yeah.
I guess he's acting like a shithead, but Kevin Porter Jr. is really good. I hope he comes back. Darius Garland and Kevin Love didn't even play last night.
Yeah, same one thinking. I just want to shout out Sexton though, because that second overtime, he was just lighting it up, and it just seemed like it's like, all right, man, I'm tired. Let's go home. I'm just gonna jack a bunch of threes, and if they go in, we win. And that's exactly what happened.
Did you see his game in college? The 3-on-5?
Oh yeah, that was
him.
yeah. Workhorse, right there.
Dude, he's just a fucking dog.
Yeah.
Bull.
All right, political side.
Wait,
go in.
Before we get into this, there's one thing I'd like to bring up. The narrative of, and I know I've talked about this whole bunch of times, but the narrative of Kevin Durant being more clutch than LeBron needs to stop. Because we are 16 games into the season, and Kevin Durant has already gone 0 for 3 on game-winning shots.
Yeah, see, like, I don't care about regular season.
I get that too, but, like, and again, I gotta stop bringing Skip Bayless up during fucking these things, but, like, I'm just so sick of hearing the same arguments and the same fucking bullshit about, like, well, LeBron's just a front runner, but Kevin Durant is clutch when Kevin, like, the number one thing that gets brought up is that, Kevin Durant, ice cold, shot that 3 right in LeBron's face. You also did it when you were front running on the fucking 73-9 Warriors when you guys were winning. Like, that does not make you a clutch player. His game winning shot, like career game winning and game tying shot ratio is not good. It's debatably bad. So I'm really tired of hearing that narrative. So.
Yeah, I mean, step 1, stop listening to Skip Bayless. I think that's a good step in the direction.
I need to. Yeah.
I get it because it's fun.
It's addicting, dude.
Him and like Shannon Sharp, like I totally get that. Like I want, not many anymore, but I try to watch at least some highlights of like Stephen A. Even though I don't think he's like particularly smart. I just think he's entertaining and like he deserves all the money in the world because like he's just pure entertainment at this point.
Oh, for sure. I go all around, dude. There's a handful of shows that I watch. The only reason I ever listen to them is I just like to like if something good happens to one of the teams that I like that he hates, or vice versa. I just watch that show because I want to hear him just fucking concede something. And then he always finds a way to fucking weasel out of it, and it drives me crazy.
Oh, he never has said sorry probably in his entire life. All right, so Biden inauguration was yesterday. Things happened. He signed a bunch of executive orders. I totally don't remember all of them. A lot of them were COVID related. I believe today on Thursday. Yesterday he stopped the Keystone Pipeline. He I forget all the stuff. I'm totally blanking. But inauguration, big day. Everyone was kind of like, oh yay, hooray, it's over. Like Trump is gone, hooray, blah blah blah. I didn't really feel that. I feel like you didn't feel that.
Dude, that you have no idea how happy that makes me feel. Cause like my even like my Twitter's pretty left. So like that one's been okay, but like I go on fucking Facebook where I got like Democrat ants and like people who in Instagram too are like, you know, people just started paying attention to politics the last couple of years because the country was melting. But like everybody's like, yay, Biden and Harris, whoa, and like don't realize that Biden has fucked over black people so much harder than Trump ever did. Like I have such high hopes and low expectations for Joe Biden. I know that like step one, if he like all the executive orders to just cancel out everything that Trump did is great, but Joe Biden, stop trying to work with the Republicans. Like the whole bullshit with the $2,000 checks where they're like, I don't know if you just saw a report where like people who worked on that campaign for the people in Georgia were telling everybody $2,000 checks, and then it got switched to the $1,400 because they're like, oh, actually now that we've won, we're actually saying that it's $2,000 cumulatively, and all of those people that were working on that campaign and all those Georgian citizens now feel like they were stabbed in the back and deceived. And a lot of those people, like, you could argue, and I would, that we need recurring checks. Like, $2,000 still fucking isn't enough. And the difference between $2,000 and $14,000 or $1,400 isn't a lot, but besides the fact that neither of those are enough, it's the fucking principle of the thing. If you say you're gonna fucking do something when you're trying to fix the country and try and gain the trust of Americans back, don't immediately fucking change your mind.
Yeah.
Like don't like, if you're gonna do that, say that before. Even then, even if you wanted it to, they still probably could have won those races saying that like, we're gonna make it cumulatively 2,000 by adding on another 1,400. They still would have won that, but no, they fucking ran on $2,000 checks, and then they changed it, and that is why people don't trust either party right now, when one of them is demonstrably worse than the other one.
Yeah. One thing though, I guess with the whole inauguration thing, to like devil's advocate thing, it is big that like Kamala Harris, you know, the first woman, first, you know, black woman, first like indigenous, well not indigenous, but like Indian woman. Like it is a big moment.
It is
for the vice presidency. I understand that part, but it's the whole Biden thing. Like I just don't really.
I have very mixed feelings about that.
Yeah.
Because I understand what that means. Like the fact that a woman is in the White House right now in a position of power is huge for like the history of women empowerment. But it's I don't like that it's who it is. Like, that's why I'm glad that Hillary didn't win, even though she probably honestly, I don't even know, because fucking even though Donald Trump was a monster, he kind of ripped a huge Band-Aid off of the country. But like, I didn't want the first woman president to be such a fucking piece of shit, you know? And
yeah.
like, I watched an interview where I think it was like a CNN interview where it was just like a bunch of like younger black girls were getting interviewed, asking them like, you know, who they're supporting and like if they're excited about, you know, Kamala and Biden running or something. They're like why, like, they didn't just she didn't just get our vote because we're black. Like, what have they done for our community? You know?
Yeah.
It's shit like that, and it's I also hate identity politics now, and I get, like, that's the thing. I understand what it means for a woman to be in there. It's the same thing that I fucking argue for somebody like Bernie Sanders to be in the White House. Like, yeah, he's going to have a lot of opposition. He's not immediately going to have the House and the Senate with him, but it's the symbolism and showing that it's possible for that to happen. So that aspect of it is good. But like, I'm so fucking sick of identity politics. Like, my mom keeps sending me these links saying like, well, there's a transgendered person in the White House. And I'm like, okay, representation is great, but like, where are the policy proposals? Where's the actual substantive change coming? Because the first thing that the Democrats are always going to concede is symbolism. And symbolism is essentially nothing. Like, yeah, it's like Ben Carson isn't a good person.
Yeah.
Because he's black. You know?
Yeah.
Like, Ben Carson is a piece of shit. Like, I'm so fucking tired of it. I'm so tired of, like, and that's why I'm scared about, like, this presidency, because they're grooming people like Pete Buttigieg and Kamala Harris, who are just standard, not at all left-wing politicians, even though people keep saying that they're progressives, because they're not. But, like, Pete's gay, and Kamala's a woman and black. Woo.
So, okay.
And if you like Elizabeth Warren better than Bernie, or if you like Bernie better than Elizabeth and you don't like Elizabeth, it's because she's a woman. No, it's because her policies just were not at the time as progressive as his, and she didn't stand so true to her values as he did. And I'm tired of people playing those games.
All right, yeah, like, I completely agree with that. Identity politics is wrong if they're not on the right side of issues. I just think more often than not, they are. Like, with like black and people of color, I think they're advocating more for, I would say, like defunding the police, or like changing police kind of patterns and ending qualified immunity, all that stuff. Like, I think they're part of that group, and like raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour, canceling student debt would effectively affect more people of color than actually white people. And then, like, so the whole thing, though, where it's like, I don't think you could compare, like, Buttigieg and Harris, because I do think Harris is a little more progressive on, like, a Green New Deal kind of aspect or other things. She's just, like, terrible with incarceration.
Yeah.
And, like, Pete Buttigieg is, like, as moderate as you could be. Like, he's just, like, middle of the road. Like,
no,
let's bring together.
He's a platitude robot.
So
dude.
I think there's a difference between those two, and then I do like I like Warren. Like, I'll admit that.
I like Warren too. I just lost a ton of respect for her after the primary.
Yeah, see, I don't know.
Down.
I think we've talked about this, and I hate that I keep referencing like things that we talked about in the past, but I just want to bring it up where it's like, I think she didn't. She misread that conversation that they had where she said that Bernie said that a woman couldn't become president. I think he said that it's going to be hard, and she took that as like, oh, this is never going to happen, and he was just saying it straight up hard. But like people forget that like she was running to the left of Obama all those years, where she kept hating him hard on like Dodd-Frank and like all this like financial committee stuff.
She's a beast when it comes to that shit.
Yeah, so like. That's great and all, and like the whole Medicare for All thing though is a little.
Yeah, when well, you know exactly what happened there. It was the second she buckled on Medicare for All was right after she hired a bunch of people that worked on Hillary Clinton's staff as well.
Yeah, that's true.
So people who can be moved like that by political advisors who are literally the fucking most useless people on the planet. Like, that shit I'm not okay with. That's why I will forever love Bernie Sanders, is because he has just stood by his morals his entire life, dude. That guy, you go back and when he was like a fucking kid. Like, you can find videos from the 70s where he's talking to like those kindergarten kids where he's like, we actually need more women in office, and the
that's great.
Pictures of him like getting dragged by cops in marches and shit instead of lying about it like somebody who just became president. Like,
okay, let's go back to Biden though, because it should be a day about him. Even though those Bernie memes with the mittens was like the best thing of this inauguration.
I'm gonna be honest. I love that he low key like stole the show.
Yeah. But okay, so Biden, what do you think the first year is going to be like from a legislative standpoint? Like, what do you think he's going to push for?
Legislatively, I think his first year is going to be his best. I think he's going to do a lot of executive actions, like right out of the gate. He's going to negate a lot of the things that Trump did. There are good things. He's getting us back into the Paris Climate Accords, which is huge. The Keystone thing was a bit of a shock to me. I was not expecting that, but it's great. I was looking at the list earlier, and I can't remember a lot of the things off the top of my head, but there are some other things that I'm not a huge fan of. Like the way his announcement of his views towards the leader of Venezuela, and which one that he recognizes as the leader of Venezuela, which is the not leader of Venezuela, the guy who just not the one who's not Maduro. I can't remember what the guy's name was, but the one who just led that like the faux coup.
Yeah.
So that's not great because that's little interventionist, imperialistic mindset. Just because that leader might benefit our country more does not mean that we should undermine another country's democracy. Yeah.
But we do that all the time, so
that doesn't make it good.
No, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yeah.
And then the other thing that I saw was their message to Iran was in regards to rejoining the Iranian nuclear deal, that they want Iran to start abiding by the deal again, and that's when and if they do that, then they would consider rejoining, which is so fucked because we were the people that broke that deal in the first place. Like, we started sanctioning them when they were still following the deal. We were the ones who pulled out of that deal. So our word essentially means nothing to them on paper right now. So why the fuck would they start following the deal when we aren't even going to guarantee that we would rejoin it? Like, we should be like asking them, hey, can we please rejoin this deal? It was really good. We had a guy who really fucked up and was an asshole, and we're trying to, like, I don't want to say grovel, but like, I don't know, kiss some ass so we don't start a nuclear war with a country, so they don't start a nuclear war with somebody else. But no, it's it is that imperialistic mindset that we have, that we should be like the police of the world when we are just a country in the world. Like, yes, we are a superpower, but we are not in charge of everybody else.
Yeah. I mean, we
need to get past that mindset.
Yeah. The one thing with Iran, though, is, like, they could easily just be like, what happens in 4 years if Donald Trump wins again? Or, like, someone like Tucker Carlson wins, and then now we have to...
And that's fucked. That's why what we did was so fucking horrible.
Yeah. All right, at least from a legislative standpoint, though, I do think he's going to push, or I hope he does, at some point this year. Because, like, the whole thing is, like, he's going to do a bunch of executive orders because it's easy, it's fast, and, like, vaccinations are going to be the biggest thing. Just trying to distribute that.
Did you hear what's going on with vaccinations right now with, like, in regards to, like West Virginia?
No.
So, as of right now, like, we are failing at distributing the vaccinations. Like, we are doing a dog shit job of it. Except for West Virginia. Because basically what happened was, I think it's CVS and Walgreens that the federal government, it was I think it was like collectively all of the state governments agreed to contract the vaccine distributions out to Walgreens and what was the other one that I said? Rite Aid? Something like that.
CVS?
CVS, yeah. Sorry. Diet Rite Aid. But yeah, so they contracted it out for them to do the distributions, except for West Virginia, because West Virginia, for whatever reason, just does, like, the governor of West Virginia was like, we don't really have a lot of Walgreens and CVS's out here, so, like, we're just gonna put the state government in charge of it. And they are just doing such a better job of it because they're fucking doing it hands-on and not contracting it out to these, big pharma companies. Like, so that's why.
Yeah. I don't know. At least in my bubble, in my circle, like, Connecticut's doing a pretty good job. Like, they just started doing people above 65, or like, it's like phase 1B. But, like, those people don't get it until after all the people who are, like, above 75 get it, people that live in, like, congregate settings or, like, group setting kind of stuff. So, like, Connecticut sounds like they do it, but whatever I hear from New York, though, is just, like, an absolute shit show.
Oh, yeah, they're, like, fucking only doing it, like, from what, like, 9 to 5, like the vaccination hours are, like, 9 to 5 and then off on weekends? Yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah.
We're losing, like 3,000 people a day.
Yeah.
Fucking work on weekends. If you can make the people who are making your food for you and flipping hamburgers work on weekends. If I have to fucking come in on a weekend to, do some gas design work as a 20-something-year-old, like, fucking, I'm sorry, people are dying.
Yeah.
If every nurse in the world has to work, like, 24-hour shifts. I have family members who are, like, my cousin's a pediatrician now. She used to tell me all about her fucking nightmare shifts where she have to work, like, multiple days straight.
Yeah.
Like, you guys can make shifts for the weekend so we can distribute these vaccines that are saving people's lives.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they totally should do that. One thing, though, that I do think, like, Biden's going to try to push, like, through Congress is actually, like, $15 an hour. Because, like, I think that's, like, consensusly, that's, like, a pretty popular opinion.
Oh, no, that already passed the House.
Yeah, you just got to get through the Senate, and then once that does, that'll be done. But, like, normally these things just, like, take, like, a very long time. But I think he can do this in a year.
Well, you know what the fucked up thing is? That, we just impeached somebody in, like, a day. So, it's crazy how fast the government can work when it matters to them.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like when it's a divided Congress, it stalls. Because, like, the House will pick something that the Democrats want to do, the Senate will pick what the Republicans do, and then when it flips, when it goes to the other side, then it stalls. So when it's the same, then it's like, okay, like we're good, then go to the next.
Well, yeah, we have the House and the Senate now, though.
Exactly. So it's like the next 2 years are pivotal in actually passing stuff.
Well, now the Democrats don't have an excuse.
Yeah.
And by that I mean half of the Democrats who are basically Republicans don't actually have an excuse now. So now they're either going to do the right thing or expose themselves. And either one is good in a way. But
yeah, we'll just have to wait and see.
I don't know, man.
But I don't know. I'm happy for that.
High hopes, low expectations.
Yeah, I mean, I think 15 an hour is pretty low expectations at this point, honestly. And most of the states that I've lived in, I have passed it and are just on the way to 15.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I just think this will be a nice way to bump the poorer states, down south or something, that don't have this kind of thing. All right, you have anything else? Any closing remarks on the world or sports?
On the world, my biggest... You know what? The thing is that when we were talking earlier, and I said that I didn't really have that much to talk about Biden, I didn't realize how much I did. The one thing that came to mind, I didn't actually say. If there's something I could say to like literally every single person I know, it would be, please don't stop paying attention to politics now that Trump is gone. Like,
yeah,
everything is still pretty fucked. Please keep fighting, keep pushing. There's so much that needs to be fixed, and the people that are in charge do not have a history of being proactive in making those changes. So we can do it, but it's gonna take some work. So please pay attention, pressure your politicians. The people who are leaders in your own party are the ones that you should be pushing the most, because you're their constituents. You are the people that need their vote, that they need the vote of. So you have power over them. Like you're not gonna fucking change the mind of like if you're a Democrat, no Republican leader is gonna give a fuck what you say. But the Democrats, they need your vote. So those are the people that you should be criticizing. Those are the people that you should be pushing to do shit. And I don't think enough people, like, I'm really, 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 really tired of people treating these politicians like celebrities and like standing over them. Like, people like RBG, they're heroes, but not every politician in the world is a hero, and most of them are pretty corrupt. And if we keep treating them like politicians, they're just gonna keep getting away with shit and keep being able to not follow laws and stuff. So I don't know. I'm kind of just rambling at this point, and I'm talking for like 2 hours if you don't make me shut up. So
yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people are not going to pay attention now because they think it's like relaxing, and it is like relaxing. It's nice to look at Twitter and not be like, "What did Donald Trump tweet today?" I get it, but I just want to quote Jameel Hill because she said something yesterday on Inauguration Day that was kind of fit what you were saying. But here we go. I wish I could say I feel happy, but I don't. Relief, yes, but the wreckage from these last 4 years is substantial. The democracy is not fixed. White supremacy isn't taking a break. This is a baby step, but the ugliness Donald Trump seized upon will intensify. I think the big part is white supremacy isn't taking a break. Like, this is still going to be rampant. Racism is not going anywhere. Like, even if we do, defund police and end qualified immunity and get all these progressive things through, racism is still going to be rampant, and they're still going to react on that other side. So it's one of those things where you still have to pay attention because it's going to be another month or so, and it's just bad to say, but some other person of color will get shot unjustly at some city or something.
Also, not to mention, I keep trying to explain this to my mom and some other people, but Trump didn't happen overnight. Trump didn't happen because Barack Obama was black. Like, yes, there were a lot of racist people that Trump cultivated around, but there were also a fuck ton of people that voted for Obama that also voted for Trump. And it's because Obama ran on change. And that's why everybody voted for him. And when he underdelivered, which I know we have had our slight arguments and disagreements on, but I think had some general kind of understanding.
Yeah.
But, like, if Biden does not make, like, big changes and does not at least push for these big changes, but, I mean, he's got a fucking supermajority, so there's no reason why he can't, other than, you know, the reality of the politicians being corrupt. But if he doesn't, there's a good chance that we have fucking Trump 2.0, like a Tucker Carlson, or, I don't know, somebody fucking even, like...
A QAnon person. Yeah.
He's so... I spent today watching highlights of all of the dumbest shit he did in the last 4 years. It's... Go watch the fucking Axio fucking interview. Like, he has the brain of a child. The way that he talks, the way that he just does shit, the way that his brain processes information. He is literally one of the dumbest people I've ever seen in the public eye. He's so stupid. He's so childish. He's so immature. He has no filter. Like, the fact he didn't get away with he got away with everything, but he didn't do any of it under the covers. Like, he did everything fucking... He got caught doing everything he did brazenly. And he got away with all of it. Now, fucking imagine somebody who does not leave not just a paper trail, but, like, a fucking blueprint of everything that they've done. Imagine somebody who can just hide all that shit. That's the next guy. Somebody with the cunning of Mitch McConnell. Like,
yeah,
that's what we're going to end up with. So, push these politicians to fucking make change, man.
Yeah. All right, just to close, I know we've been closing for like 10 minutes now, but
that's good. That's good.
Yeah, I just think that it's very easy to be on the other side, like to be on the losing side. I guess it's just like very easy to complain, like, oh, like Congress is inept, like we can never get anything passed, like blah blah. The system is. It's just like Republicans blaming Democrats, Democrats blaming Republicans, and it's like those people in the middle that that vote for Obama, then vote for Trump, then vote for Biden, then like maybe flip back to like Carlson or whoever the Republican will be. It's just like it's easy to complain, and like I feel like people need to understand how difficult it is, especially at like the federal level when it's like all these there's like so much money flowing around. It's like people in Mississippi.
That's the first thing that needs to change.
Well, yeah, but we
need to make legalized bribery gone.
But it's just like people in Mississippi are, and like people in like Hartford, Connecticut, where I'm at, are like two totally different worlds, like advocating for two totally different things. So it's like to come together through that. And I just sound like a bullshit moderator right now, but it's just like it is difficult to do that. All right, closing though. Thank you, Fritz, for coming on. It's always a pleasure to talk sports and politics with you.
It's always a pleasure, Dan.
Yeah. You could follow us at Snowflake Sports on Instagram. You can follow me at Lucky Profession. You can follow Fritz at Fritz Eyre, Eyre.
You can also find my Instagram handle at fritzlovescats.alot. And if you want to see my dog daycare page, it's at fritzlovesdogs.alot.
He loves dogs. He loves all the animals. So, all right. Well, please rate and review us where you get your podcasts, and have a good one.